Service to others is deeply embedded in our country's character. Helping others, charitable acts, improving the human condition is reflected in the actions of millions of good people every day. The Knights of Columbus in this project is no exception. John F. Kennedy's devotion to others and his service to our nation inspired millions. Our 2008 JFK Community Service Award nominees reflect this same spirit. So on behalf of an organization completely devoted to service to others, we express our appreciation to our honorees and to each of you who reflect this wonderful characteristic of our nation. Thank you for your service to others.
The great American poet Robert Frost once wrote, "Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference."
John F. Kennedy made all the difference in the world in America. Tonight we honor two men whose lives have made all the difference in the world in Oklahoma, and who have also taken the road less traveled. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adriana Ivashinsky. I've been a member here at the Santa Fe Family Life Center for several years now, and my kids and I have been thrilled with all the changes the Knights of Columbus have made here recently. So I was honored to accept their invitation to introduce the 2008 John F. Kennedy Award for Community Service.
John F. Kennedy was elected the 35th President of the United States in 1960. JFK remains the only Catholic ever to serve as president. John F. Kennedy was also a proud Knight of Columbus. He joined Bunker Hills Council 62 of Charleston, Massachusetts in 1946. He became a fourth-degree Knight in 1954. Service to the nation as the hallmark of a good citizen was Kennedy's message. In 1960, the word went forth to the world that the torch of freedom had passed to a new generation, and John F. Kennedy carried that flame of liberty. John Kennedy's words that called a new generation to better their communities rings as true today as when he declared,
"Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country."
John Kennedy challenged America to be its best, strive for the best we can be. JFK called Americans to serve, serving in a cause greater than themselves. He challenged us to go to the moon, go to the Peace Corps, go to college, and change our world. The JFK years were special in America. We refer to those years as Camelot. For one brief, shining moment, we had our dream and our Sir Lancelot, fairest of the knights.
That time was so short, and yet it still echoes in our memories. We can change our world. Each of us can make a difference. Each of us should make a difference. Tonight, we have two men who have made a difference. Community service was a lasting legacy of the Kennedy family. Well, we have one such family right here in Oklahoma.
Drew Edmondson, think about it, a four-term Attorney General, for gosh sakes, and a three-term district attorney over in Muskogee, and a state legislator before that. And before all that public service, a tour of duty in Vietnam. He's a great public servant, and I think to honor him in JFK's name, President John Kennedy's name, is absolutely a perfect evening.
The name Edmondson is synonymous with dedicated service to Oklahoma. We have had an Edmondson as governor, U.S. Senator, congressman, Supreme Court justice, district judge, state representative, district attorney, and attorney general. J. Howard Edmondson brought the same positive message of challenging Oklahomans to be better as Kennedy was challenging the nation. It was called Prairie Fire, and that optimism swept Oklahoma. Ed Edmondson served the 2nd Congressional District for 20 years. His philosophy of government service was summed up in Jack London's Gospel of Service. We serve because we are called to serve. With that family legacy, Drew Edmondson has spent his entire life living that gospel of service. He has lived much of the optimism that was in that original Prairie Fire to help make a state that is truly a prairie of promise. Drew has served 12 years as our Attorney General, distinguishing himself in civil cases as well as protecting us from criminals. Drew's service continues even today. Our next honoree left a legacy of service in 2 arenas. He was known as the greatest player in the greatest game ever played. That was Jack Mildren.
He is a role model for all the good things that people today, young people today, in fact everybody today can look towards and really get the feeling that Jack Mildren got it. He got it in a big way. He did everything he could with every opportunity which he faced, and he made a lot of people better because of his presence.
Thanksgiving Day, 1971, at Owen Field in Norman, Oklahoma, OU versus Nebraska, number 1 versus number 2. The only game so totally hyped that ever lived up to its billing. The NCAA Football Hall of Fame calls it the greatest college game ever played and has a picture of Jack Mildren in that game representing that remarkable afternoon on the football field. The word great is used so often and applies so seldom, but Jack Mildren truly was a great man. A leader, elected lieutenant governor, nominated for governor, Jack Mildren served his state. He was a great family man that knew his priorities. He was totally committed to his family. His adopted state of Oklahoma meant so much to him, but underneath it all, it was his love of the University of Oklahoma that was at the very core of who he was. The courage Jack Mildren faced in his final struggle was the same courage he showed as a young collegiate fighting for the Sooners. At OU, the university chant ends with the line, "Live on, University." The legacy of Jack Mildren lives on at OU, in Oklahoma, and in all the lives that he touched.
These two men, Drew Edmondson and the late Jack Mildren, were the very personification of the Oklahoma Council's 1038 motto, serving him by serving others. They have dedicated their lives to serving others. That is why they are such worthy recipients of the John F. Kennedy Community Service Award.